Hi YouTube, my name is Heather and I love anti-MLM content here on YouTube. I'd like to use this channel as an excuse to sit on the floor and talk about the unethical practices in multi-level marketing companies. Today we're going to watch a quick training video from a Beachbody coach who's at the very top of the pyramid. She's going to tell us 5 things not to do as a brand new Beachbody coach. Again, we're going to listen and I'll pause throughout to share my opinions.
Hey guys, today I'm going to do a little training on 5 things that you need to remember as a new coach and 5 things that usually people fall into the trap of. And I kind of say that they're like the 5 basic mistakes that coaches tend to make when they're brand new, when they're super excited. And I just want to talk about these things and bring them to the surface. I really like focusing and kind of branding myself as someone who shoots it straight with people, especially within the coaching community, and what it really takes to build a business and what that looks like. Obviously, being really rooted in your why and understanding why you're doing this outside of I just want to help people is super important because a business and building a real life business takes work. So this is no different. The interesting thing about becoming a coach.
So we've talked about this before. You have to have a strong why in the MLM industry. The saying is, if your why doesn't make you cry, you need a stronger why. That just means why you want to build your Beachbody business. So this could be you want to provide a better life for your family. You had a traumatic childhood, so you want to be a more stable figure in your children's life and be a better parent. You want to have time freedom, financial freedom. Uplines will ask you what your why is at the very beginning. So when you are struggling, not making any money, and you're questioning whether you should quit your MLM, they will bring back that why and use that to prey on your desire to make a better life for yourself or your loved ones, and use that as a way to keep you in the business for longer.
Is anybody can sign up, right? Anybody can say, I'm an entrepreneur, I am a coach. But there's expectations, just like there would be in any other business. There's the ability to, claim that you're doing this, but not actually doing the work that is required behind the scenes because anybody can try. The reason not everybody succeeds is because most people aren't willing to actually do the work it takes to build an actual business. So anybody can sign up, but
we know that's untrue. For people to be on the top of the pyramid like her, there needs to be at least 80% of the distributor population, whatever that is, at the bottom. So 80%, at least 80% need to be failing for her to be succeeding. So we know that's not true. If you didn't succeed, it's not because you didn't try.
But only a select few will actually do what it takes to build a business. And I speak a lot about my other trainings is really the smartest thing that you can do is not quit and continue to build that foundation of success and do the things that your coach is telling you to do. So if you're wondering if you're struggling or if you're wondering why you're struggling, I would definitely ask yourself the question, are you being coachable? Coaching is all about duplicating systems that are already set out for you. That's the super cool thing about virtual fitness coaching is, there's people that have already walked before you telling you exactly what's worked for them and why they're successful. It's your job to take that upon yourself. Obviously, create your own brand and your own play on, the words and what your groups look like and how you brand yourself as a human being. But don't think that you're going to create this brand new equation and it's going to work like 10 times better than 99.9% of all the other coaches who are doing it a different way and finding that success. So really setting the ego aside, diving into personal development, and always checking in with yourself. Am I being coachable? Am I doing the things that my coach is requiring me to do, or am I doing the things that successful coaches are doing, or am I trying to go about it a different way?
So sorry, I paused at a weird spot, but so remember, to be coachable means to do what your coach, your recruiter is telling you to do. Remember, you're also could be recruited into Beachbody by them saying, well, you're going to be a business owner, you're your own CEO, you work how you want, but here she's telling you, you cannot forge your own path. You can't do things in the way you want to do it. You have to do things in the way that past and current successful coaches have done, because she said it's all about duplication. It's all about using the systems that have already been laid out for you. So in her context, remember this, to be coachable means to do what you're told.
That's you not being coachable. So don't be that coach. So the number one thing that I recommend, especially with new coaches, is do not use your first call to action post as a lottery ticket. Do not use your first coming out as, oh, I'm a coach and I'm going to help people and I'm so excited, as this ticket to success. I probably had maybe 5 people reach out on my initial before and after photo, and they were super excited, and not one of them actually pulled through and joined one of my fitness groups because I didn't instill enough trust in them. I didn't instill enough like longevity in sharing with them, like, hey, I'm here, hey, I've been here, and hey, I'm going to continue to be here. So when you come out as a coach and you say, I'm here to help people, I want to serve people, I want to show people, the awesome community that I found, don't use your initial first couple posts, even your first couple of weeks, even your first couple of months as like a lottery ticket to, do I like this or do I not like this? This is a front-loaded job that takes a lot of work to instill that trust, that brand, that solid foundation for people to trust in you. And the only way that people are going to trust in you and actually start to look at you as a figure in the fitness industry, as somebody that they can trust to put their journey in your hands, is if you can continue to show up, if you continue to get results, and if you continue to speak on the authenticity of your journey and the fact that you're here, you're going to be here, and you're going to be here 2 years from now, right? And people will definitely read your energy. So if you're wishy-washy and you're like, well, I'm just going to put this.
So the first tip is don't assume that your first couple posts are going to be a lottery ticket and tons of people are going to join you, that you have to be consistent and consistently show and share about your health and fitness journey and develop trust with people. So on the surface, that's a really, really good point. However, when you're being recruited into Beachbody, they do make it seem that it's such an easy process and that people are they would love to join you, and you're going to have people in your groups. So it's okay advice, but it's contradictory to how individuals are recruited into Beachbody.
Out here and just see, but I don't really know if I'm actually going to do it. Like, people can read those energies and they'll go find some other coach that's way more committed than you and they'll join her. So make sure that you set out and you're like, I'm here, I'm committed to this, and I'm not committed for a week or a month just to dip my toes. I'm committed and I'm going to do this full force, and I'm going to take this seriously just like you would take a normal business seriously. So don't use your first call to action as this thing where, okay, I'm going to post this and everyone's going to flood to me. It's just going to be the awesomest thing ever, and I'm just going to fill up my entire boot camp. It takes connecting with people. The first year I had to get all of my Success Club points, all of my first initial clients by reaching out to people. People never came to me. People never filled out my forms. I spent a lot of time in the trenches building conversations, sharing my journey, continuing to show up when people didn't think that I was going to show up. Now, over 2 years later, I have people who have been watching me for 2 years who are finally like, whoa, like, she's committed. And I'm like, hell yeah, I'm committed, and I'll be committed the next 5, 10, 15 years. I'm not going anywhere. But the initial reaction for people, especially when you post that first, I'm a coach post or whatever, their initial reaction, friends, family, people who follow you on Instagram, is this. Their initial reaction is going to be to sit back and watch and see if you're actually taking this seriously, or if this is just something that you're feeling a little bit excited about right now, but you're not actually going to do long term. The smartest thing you can do is continue to move forward and prove those people wrong and instill trust.
Again, a good point, but it's contradictory to how these poor people are recruited into Beachbody. They'll say it's an easy thing you can do in the nooks and crannies of your day, in pockets of time, and people will join you. And she's saying, like, what she's saying is fine. You need to work at it, but that's just not the message that people receive when they're recruited. And she just said, prove the people wrong who just sit back and are watching to see if you're committed and if you want to be successful. I don't really see what you're proving wrong if people are just watching you. There's a common narrative in MLMs that if people aren't outwardly supporting everything you do in your MLM, that they're haters and that you have to prove them wrong. But if it's your friend or your mom who's just watching your Instagram to see how it's going, but they don't want to commit to anything yet, you don't need to prove them wrong. They're just watching. I don't really understand that.
So that's the number one thing. Do not use your first call to action post, your first, before and after picture, your first, coming out post about how you're going to be or how you're a coach. Don't use that as a lottery ticket. Don't expect that to build your business. Okay. That is not working. That is just you posting one picture. That is the beginning of everything. Number 2, don't expect to need to love every single thing about coaching. There are things about coaching right now that are not my favorite things to do, like an inbox full of 50 unread emails. I don't feel like responding to every single one of those emails right now. I do not love responding to emails. I do not love reaching out to people and starting up conversations every single day. So there's things about this job that I don't absolutely love, but if you think about it, there's every single job that you will ever have, there's going to be things that you don't love about that job. So, you know, you have to kind of choose what shit sandwich you're going to eat, no matter if you're in a...
Remember, this was a business meeting, and she just said you have to choose what shit sandwich you're going to eat. So on the surface, this is a correct statement. You're not going to love every single thing about every job that you have. However, there's a difference between, say, I don't like creating budgets. I hate the mathematical part of my job, and my coworkers are toxic and they bully me. So in the Beachbody context, say you don't like tracking your invites, say, but then you have an upline who bullies you into buying products so she can rank up, or who tells you you need to harass your aunt and your grandma to buy products from you. Those are two different things. There's a difference between you not enjoying a task in your job and you being in a toxic situation that you need to get away from.
Corporate job, or you know, you're serving, or you work at Starbucks or wherever, like there's always going to be a shitty part of the job you might not absolutely be crazy like excited about, but just deciding to choose your heart and deciding, you know, what part of...
That's another thing they always like to say, choose your heart. So say you don't want to harass your friends and family online, they'll say, well, do you want to harass your friends and family online, or do you want to not be able to stay home when you have your baby in 9 months because maybe that person just became pregnant? Do you want to do this, or do you want to miss out on time with your friends and family? I think that's extremely manipulative, because they could say, yes, Beachbody is hard, but going back to who you were before Beachbody would be even harder.
You know, the job is okay to kind of bear because the other things are so great. And for me, I literally love 98% of what I do as a coach. You know, there's some things that are a little bit more taxing than others. And I understand the fact that, like, I'm not going to sit down every single day and just be like, rainbows and butterflies. I love my job so much. This is so amazing. Like, sometimes it's hard. Sometimes I don't feel like it. But this is my job, and I need to treat it like that. And, you know, all the other jobs that I went to, I only loved probably 30% of what I was doing. So the odds are a lot better here, but please don't expect to love every single thing that you're doing as a coach, or when something becomes not fun, have it be a reason for you to just quit and stop trying. So that's number 2.
Yes. Again, good advice, but it's important that we are able to see the difference between something in a job that we just don't really like doing and something that's toxic, that's bad for our mental and physical health. So again, like a lot of things these MLM coaches or distributors say, on the surface, it seems like a good tip, but if you dig a little bit deeper, it's very toxic. So she's saying, like, if there's something that puts you off about Beachbody coaching, just focus on the things you like and move on from it. What do you think about that?
Number 3, do not think that Beachbody and their business structure is just different or unlike any other business structure. If anything, the coaching opportunity and Beachbody and being a virtual fitness coach, the business structure is 100 times easier than starting any other business that you could ever start. Our startup costs are low. You can make money as a coach the first 2 months as a coach. I made money, my second month into coaching. I profited off of my coaching business, which is insane. So don't think that Beachbody is any more difficult or it's unlike any other business. Don't treat it like it's going to be so much easier.
Before I forget, she's going to go into more detail, but I think someone saying, oh, the structure is harder, and she's saying that's false because it's so easy to start. She's not really addressing the issue. Yes, it's easy to start because all you need is a social security number. You need to be 18 and over. You need to be a citizen of a country in which Beachbody operates, and you need to purchase a product pack. That's all you need to start. The argument is not that it's hard to start a business. It's hard to succeed in Beachbody because, as we know, 80% of people on the bottom of the pyramid, they need to be losing money for her at the very top to make money. So she's making a non-argument here. How easy it is to start a business and this business structure are two different things.
Because it is going to take work just like a normal business. But anything that's great is definitely worth like working for and going through the trenches in. So give it that respect, give it Be clear on the fact that this really is a business and you need to treat it like one in order for it to pay you like one. And that doesn't mean showing up when you feel like it. That means showing up every single day and like opening the door to your business and turning on the opening sign. Just like if you owned a yoga studio,
You can't just work when you feel like it. You have to work every single day, even though when you're recruited, they preach time freedom. You can work anytime you want around your family schedule. So you can be a present mom or dad or partner or friend or whatever, and you can work from wherever you want, whenever you want. So people recruited into Beachbody, they're told one thing, and then when they're in there, they're told that you're not being successful because you're not working enough.
It's like if you owned a coffee shop, if you owned a coffee shop, there's no way that you would ever be like, I don't feel like I'm just not going to open my coffee shop today. Like, no, customers would be freaking pissed. So,
however, if you do have your own coffee shop, you can decide not to open it if you want. If you feel sick, if you want the day off, you can decide that because it's your business. Irrelevant argument.
Look at this as the exact same way. You're never going to not show up to a job where, people expect you to walk in and, start your corporate job. Or if you had a shift at a restaurant, you're not just going to not show up because you don't feel like it. I show up and
paid time off is a thing. So if you don't feel like working, if you have the time, you can not go to work if you want to. It is a thing. So I think all of these arguments are completely irrelevant so far. What do you think?
Treat this like a business, and therefore it pays me like a business, and therefore it's become a business because I treat it like that. So treat Beachbody and the business opportunity just like any other business you would ever start. It will sustain you like that, and don't think that it's any different or any more challenging. If anything, it's so much easier than starting any other business. And if anybody were to question me on that and say, well, it's a lot harder, honestly, I would probably question your work ethic or question the fact that maybe you weren't meant to be an entrepreneur in the first place.
So I just wanted to talk about a few things before we move on. So I don't know if you know this definition, but the definition of gaslighting, I'm just going to read it out. I'm just going to quote it. It is to manipulate someone by psychological means into questioning their own sanity. It leads them to doubt their perceptions and become misled, disoriented, or distressed. So if someone in her downline comes to her and says, this business structure is impossible, I can't figure this out, I'm doing everything you told me to do and I'm not making any money, or unfortunately I'm even losing money. She just said if someone comes to her and says that, she's going to tell them maybe you're not meant to be an entrepreneur, maybe you're not putting in the work because it's so easy to start. So she's misleading people, or not she is, she could, Beachbody upline could be misleading someone by like diverting what they're actually saying and focusing their answer on the fact that anyone can start a Beachbody business and therefore anyone can be successful. When in reality, we know, I said this like 8 times in this video, there has to be 80% of people at least losing money on the bottom of the pyramid for those at the very top to be successful. And so I think Beachbody coaches like this could be leading someone to question their own sanity by just disregarding everything they're saying you may say that you're doing everything I told you to do, but you're not doing it enough. You're not diving into personal development enough. You need to be working more. You need to be reaching out to more people. You need to post more authentically on Instagram, on Facebook. You need to have different invite scripts. But the reality is that you could do everything that these high-up Beachbody coaches are telling you to do, and you're still going to not make any money because that's how the system was made.
That's number 3. I have them all written here. Number 4, don't wait to feel motivated to start working hard. Don't wait to feel motivated to start pushing your business. I always love this one because really experience breeds confidence, and your ability to throw yourself into the fire and get used to, doing things that make you feel uncomfortable is really what will push you forward in this business. If you wait around to feel motivated to become a diamond coach, if you wait around to feel motivated to hit Success Club, you're always going to be that person that's on the back end, shuffling around, waiting for other people to motivate you.
And remember, one of the first tips was be coachable. So do everything that your coach tells you to do. So at the beginning, she's telling you to listen to your upline coach. And then here she's telling you, don't wait for someone to tell you what to do, motivate yourself. In the course, it's only been 10 minutes. In the course of 10 minutes, she's contradicting herself. And I think that's very interesting. Which one is it? Do you have to listen to everything your coach says and do what they tell you to do? Or do you have to motivate yourself?
And you're never going to be a leader of a pack. You're never going to be a leader of a team because you're going to be waiting around to feel motivated. Instead, switch that mindset and say, I'm going to be the one that motivates everybody else. I'm going to move myself from in the pack to a leader of the pack. And it changes your mentality, changes everything about this business when you decide to take action instead of wait for other people to take action and inspire you to take action. Same exact thing with our fitness, right? That's why I love coaching, is because it absolutely parallels exactly what our fitness training looks like, right? If we wait around and wait to be motivated by somebody on Instagram and then finally do our workout, wouldn't it be so much better if we got up and we were the motivation that other people needed? And that's what we are as coaches. You need to be the motivation. You need to be the person at the front of the pack. You need to be leading by example. You need to be always committed to a workout program and lead from the front and motivate others and show other people how to do it. And that will breed success. That
motivate others and lead from the front while doing exactly what your upline tells you to do. And if your upline isn't giving you guidance or instructions like she says that they will, it's your own fault if you don't know what you're doing, because you need to motivate yourself. Do you see what happens? Like, they're constantly contradicting themselves, and I can only imagine how confusing it must be to be a Beachbody coach and to hear like 10 different conflicting messages every single team call, and to not know what you're doing and to do exactly what the coaches tell you to do, and then you still fail, and you go to them and you tell them that you're not making any money, and then they gaslight you, or you're just not given any instructions, and then you're told, well, you're your own CEO, so you should know what to do. I just find there'd be so much like mental gymnastics you have to go through, and it'd be so exhausting and tiring.
Will show you how to become a leader and create that amazing team that you're wanting. So that's number 4. Do not wait to feel motivated. That is such a freaking joke. If I waited to feel motivated, I would be sitting right there thinking about doing this video instead of just pressing record on this video and recording the freaking video. Number 5, do not think that you can take a break. I'm going to go back to the idea of the yoga studio. So if you opened a yoga studio and you signed a 12-month lease and you said, I'm going to open this yoga studio, I'm going to pay $5,000 a month in rent, which is pretty cheap for a yoga studio, and I'm going to open this and become a yoga studio owner, a business owner. 13 days in to becoming a yoga studio owner, you're not going to not open the doors to your yoga studio because you need to take a break from your job. Again, obviously,
you could if you wanted to, because it's your own business.
This video is a higher level training for coaches who are trying to figure out how to really make this work and go full time with coaching, or create a substantial side income. But you don't take a break if you're a business owner. You don't not show up on your social media because you feel stressed or you don't feel motivated. If somebody looks at you as a fitness coach, they want to be able to go to your platform and see you inspiring, motivating, and encouraging people as a fitness coach every single day. If I were to show up at a yoga studio and the yoga studio is randomly closed because the owner just didn't feel like teaching yoga that day, I would be like, what a freaking joke is this business? So, people are going to take you seriously if you take yourself seriously and you take your business seriously. And as soon as you take a break, you're breaking that trust with people. You're breaking all of that momentum that you've built. And I always like kind of painting coaching as this picture of, you're especially the first, I would say 2 years of coaching, you are pushing a boulder up a mountain. You are creating that momentum from 0 because your team is at 0, your team is at 1. So you have to work really, really, really hard to push that momentum, push that boulder up that mountain. Once you start creating a team and you get other people with the same vision as you, and they start understanding, they want to stand beside you and do the same thing, all of a sudden there's this momentum and the boulder begins to roll on its own alongside you. But if you're taking breaks here, that boulder doesn't just sit there and hang out until you're ready to restart again and then you just start from there. No, if you take a break, you're crumbling all of that trust that you...
There's a lot to unpack already. I'll let her continue talking in just a second, but she's saying you cannot take breaks in your Beachbody business or else you are going to lose momentum. We've all seen in the Beachbody team calls or anti-MLM YouTube content, people top Beachbody coaches shaming their downlines when they need to take a break, saying, if I can do this, you can do this too. I've seen team calls where people talking about they went through miscarriages and they still showed up and posted and were a coach. They went through surgery and still had to post and join team meetings. lost loved ones, had a bad injury, house burned down, someone died, just really traumatic life experiences where in any other job, you could take a little bit of time off. Myself, I have lots and lots of vacation time, so I could take weeks off if I needed to, but majority of jobs have at least some PTO. And so if you have a major life incident occur in your life, you are most likely able to take at least a few days off just to recuperate, just to recover. I've also seen a very, very high up Beachbody coach say, I don't care if your dog's at the vet sick, you need to be sending invites from the vet. So they don't care what's going on in your life. They care about the bottom line. They care about you inviting people to your business to grow your downline so they can make more money off of you. So she's saying if you take a break, the bolder your momentum is just going to roll back and you're going to set your business backwards. However, when they recruit you, they tell you you can work part-time in the pockets of your day. You don't need to work too much. You can have time freedom and be there for your kids, your family, and your loved ones. And then once you're in the business, there's people like this telling you can never take a break, because if you do, you're a bad business owner. You don't take yourself seriously and you don't want to find success in the business.
Instilled in your clients, that you instilled in your coaches, that you instilled in your team. So it's vital, vital, vital. Again, the smartest thing that you can do is not quit or not take a break, because people are watching and they've been watching from day one. And if you're one of those coaches that takes a break and then starts back up and then takes a break and starts back up, you are going to attract the exact same types of people. And that is not a good thing. You want to attract people who are motivated, inspired, ready to freaking work, ready to move alongside you.
You can be motivated and still need a rest for your mental health because you're going through something traumatic or draining. It's not mutually exclusive. And she says that if you don't post every single day, that your audience is not going to trust you and no one's going to want to join you as a coach because you're not taking yourself seriously. However, they might just see you as a human who needs a rest, needs to rest their mind and their body, spend the day sleeping or watching Netflix. It's not like if you don't post for one day, your business is not going to explode. You're a person and people need breaks.
People who would never fathom taking breaks. And I have some freaking amazing coaches on my team who don't do any of that stuff because I don't do any of that stuff. And I get to stand alongside them every day and they're freaking badasses. But that's because I decided to be that person and lead from the front and do that first. And that's been duplicated in my own team. Whatever you're doing with you and yourself, that's what your team's going to duplicate. So be aware of that and be conscious of the fact that you are really setting a standard and you're building a resume for not only your own coaching business, but your team's coaching business and their businesses to come. So those are my 5 things. Number 1.
She's just going to summarize all of them. We don't need to hear that again. So generally the main lesson is to listen to everything your upline says and you duplicate everything they do. However, don't wait for someone to tell you what to do and don't wait for someone to motivate you. Hugely contradicting messages. You are never allowed to take a break, even though you're a human being who might have a traumatic event occur or might be going through mental health challenges. You need to always work, because if you don't work, if you don't post on your Facebook or Instagram, no one's going to join you because they're not going to take you seriously and you're not a real business owner. We also learned that if you tell her that, or tell not just her, if you tell an upline that you are struggling to succeed in your Beachbody business, it's your own fault, because joining the business is so easy, even though that's not the argument. Joining your business is so easy, and if you're not succeeding, it's because you are not meant to be a business owner and you are not duplicating what your upline tells you to do. I know there was a lot of information in that video. I hope you enjoyed it, and you can let me know below. Thank you.